How's that? Sound on now? It's like watching a caveman. Right, is that working? There we go. Got it? Yeah. Sorted. You know what that was? I put the mic on mute when I put the Life of the Ocean Wave on, and then I didn't take the mic off mute. Yeah, good, sorted. So what was I saying? Yeah, October. Fantastic month, October. Loads of good birthdays in October. Matty's is on the 26th. Captain Cook's is on, like, what, isn't Captain Cook's the 25th? I'm going to have to Google that. I should know this, being a Borough lad. The only famous person who ever hailed from Middlesbrough, Captain Cook. Yeah, it's November. I always thought it was in October. Did we used to do a different... Oh, yeah, there we go. 27th of October in old style. So that's why I'm getting mixed up, because we used to go to the Captain Cook Museum when I was a bairn. So it's 25th for Captain Cook, 26th for Matty, 28th for the Royal Marines. Huzzah! Great month, October. And if you think about it, it's not too far after Valentine's Day, so maybe that's why everybody gets conceived in February and born in October. Captain Cook had the sense to leave Borough too. Did you hear about Nancy Pelosi's husband getting chinned? I'm sure they're exaggerating like they always do, because, well, let's read it. Let's read it. I haven't read it myself, so we can do it together. Intruder shouted, "Where is Nancy?" in attack on US Speaker Pelosi's husband. Listen, he is expected to make a full recovery, so nothing happened to him. It's probably fucking... I don't want to sound like I'm getting on Alex Jones or anything, but it's like, listen, do you know they were saying how they kept going on about January 6th? Like, oh my God, it was an insurrection. It was the shittest insurrection ever. If it was an insurrection, it was the shittest insurrection ever. Nobody had a firearm. It would be an insurrection if a few dozen blokes were pepper potting across the White House lawn with AK-47s. It's not an insurrection when a bloke dressed like Jamiroquai is wandering around the fucking Capitol Hill posing for selfies. So it's always the same. Like, I just feel like everything's bollocks now. Like I said, Alex Jones, David Icke, all the people I used to laugh at, they've been proved right. And all this type of shit now, I just feel like it's all nonsense to try and help them in the elections. Like, they think if they push a story that an intruder was attacked, an intruder attacked Nancy Pelosi's husband, and he was looking for Nancy, going, "Oh, where's Nancy?" They can spin it and go, see See what these MAGA boys do. These MAGA boys just promote this. It's them. No mention of the fact that they've been purposely antagonising people for years. It's the same with the election shit. Do you know what I mean? The Democrats in America spent 4 fucking years denying the result of the election. 4 years. They went, no, not my president. Oh, I'll pose with his fucking severed head on the front of a magazine. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. It's just bant, baby. Just a bit of bant. Just a bit of bant. Not my president. Severed heads. Orange man bad. Samantha Bee went on television and called his daughter. It was just his daughter. What's she got to do with anything? A feckless cunt. They went after his family. They said he didn't win the election. He wasn't the president. It was all bollocks. And then all of a sudden, Biden wins. And they go, I can't believe people deny elections. It's like, you did it for 4 years. And again, I'm not trying to stick up for the people who rioted on the Capitol, because you shouldn't, because it's a democracy. But all I'm saying is, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you spent fucking 4 years denying the result of the election, how? Since the creation of clamshite, I've never heard anything so ridiculous. How can you expect them not to do the exact same thing? It's so obvious, isn't it? Oh, I didn't know Maggie was born in October. So fuck, what a month there. What a month. The last good Prime Minister. Here's to Maggie. Cheers. So, yeah, it's ludicrous. So as far as I'm concerned, this didn't happen. It's 2 weeks till the election, and they just want to use something like this and say, oh my God, look at this. This is all Donald Trump's fault. This is the MAGA's fault. They're promoting this. They're not promoting it. Nobody in the Republican Party, Donald Trump hasn't, Mike Pence hasn't, nobody said you should go and fucking twat your political opponent. But you know who did say that? All the Democrats, obviously. Maxine Waters. Have you ever seen the footage of Maxine Waters? When she was, you go after them, you don't let them get a moment's peace, you confront them in restaurants, at gas stations. Like, all of the aggression has come from the walk. But they're trying to spin it now and say it's all coming from the Republicans. Bollocks. I don't even believe this happened. If I went in to fucking Paul Pelosi's house with a hammer, he wouldn't be leaving the hospital expected to make a full recovery. He's an old man. If a 42-year-old bloke goes into an 82-year-old bloke's house with a hammer with the intent to kill the fucker, he doesn't simply leave him with a minor flesh wound, does he? I don't believe this happened. So again, old Ikey has proved me wrong, because now all the conspiracy theorists are the ones I'm fucking listening to. Don't believe it happened. And if you did, and it's America, it's trivially easy to get a gun. Why didn't he get a gun? He wants to hurt the bloke. Where's Nancy? Why didn't he get a gun? This is just bollocks. Well, we're thankful for first responders. Shut up. 2 rear doors were damaged. Yeah, bollocks. Nothing now happened. Who cares? Who cares? This is just so they can try and fiddle the election. Should we do a bit of car history? Just I feel like we should do some car history because it's the birthday. Let's have a quick let's have a look at the Wikipedia page for the Royal Marines and see what they have to say about things, shall we? MARE per TERRAM, Gibraltar. Here we are. There's the car. There's the badge of the Corps of Royal Marines, 28th of October, 1664. 358 years. Marvellous. The only problem is, right, I don't think in this day and age, Pelosi's back doors got smashed in. The old ones are the best. I think the compact's now officially been broken. Like, ever since Tony Blair, ever since 1997, we haven't had a government that served the people. Look at the wars we've been involved in. Iraq was a shambles. I was proud to invade Iraq because I was young and dumb when we invaded Iraq. Now I'm fucking embarrassed. I'd rather tell people I was in jail. You know, on the day we invaded Iraq, I tell people I was in prison because I'm a sex offender. That's something to be more proud of. But because the compact's been broken. But this is the point I try to make to people. In a conflict, some war movies have made a good point of this, but they often frequently don't. In a conflict, there's heroes on both sides. But, World War I's a good example. You got heroic actions by Germans and English soldiers because ultimately working class men and women, well, men at the time, women now, get pulled in and they do the duty, honour, duty. It's two words that are important to fighting men. And whether or not the war was a shambles or the fact that the government that now uses us like a fucking knackered old horse, doesn't negate the honourable actions by the men that serve. So anybody who's feeling a bit down about the Corps and the military in general, I would tell you to suck it up, pull your bootstraps up, and crack on with promoting some self-respect for what you did and what you achieved, because it's irrelevant, really. We've all, like I keep saying, I'm a reluctant capitalist. I'm not saying that it doesn't have its problems. I'm just saying that we've never come up with a better solution. And the military is the same, isn't it? I know we live in a military-industrial complex and they use working-class lads. The carrot is that joining the military will give you some skills that can get you started on a ladder of life. It can be, you can join the Corps as a young man from a shitty town like Middlesbrough, like me. And instead of being trapped working in a fucking steel mill your whole life, you go to see the world and meet lots of interesting people and murder some of them. But ultimately, we haven't come up with a better system for promoting and encouraging stoicism and work ethic and honor and nobility and grit and determination and all of the things that turn you from a boy to a man. You get it out of the military. And I know that obviously you get used, because I love it. I love it when I'm on Twitter and some twat's having a go at me. And when you get some woke left-wing twat, they love taunting you because they don't like working class people. They love taunting the military, which is, like I said, it's an irony, because this modern left, these wokists, they have nothing in common with the old left. I've made the point many times. It's been a stitch-up from the globalist elite types. Functionally, the UK hasn't changed since 1997. They've all just continued the same globalist shit. And it's funny that left-wing wokists now who hate, there is no more working class job at all than the military. There isn't. You can see I've been in America too long. I say military now. I don't go military. Because when I say I was in the military, they all go, what? I'm like, military. What? Military. It's like water, military. There's two words. The American. Oh, yeah, what's the other one? There's one I always used to say. No, what the fuck does that mean? Anyway, yeah. I've started pronouncing my T's. I've been in America too long. Yeah, as if any of... They're all weasels. They're all weasels. And then Johnny Mercer. People go, I told you I hate Johnny Mercer. He's a weasel. And Johnny Mercer's a backdoor commander. He only did his fucking 8 weeks all arms shite. Johnny Mercer's a shithouse, and he's a weasel. He's a rat. He's a liar. He's a self-serving shitbag. So don't talk to me about fucking Johnny Mercer, any of you lot in the comments who like him, just because he's got a green lid. He's a wanker. Aluminium, yeah, that's another one. You know, aluminium, Matlow, is an interesting one because they actually spell it differently. So it does make sense the way we say aluminium and they say aluminum, because they spell it differently. Didn't know that until I moved out here. Lieutenant's a good one, because lieutenant obviously we got that from the frogs, didn't we? Should be lieutenant, not lieutenant. Hey, lieutenant. But yeah, anyway. Back to what I was talking about. You guys fucking always distract me in the chat. I'm not a good multitasker. I'm male. You should be proud of your service and you should take it for what it is. Do we live in a military industrial complex? Yeah. Do they exploit the working class to provide meat for the grinder? Yeah. It's been the same since time immemorial. What do you think? Why do you think Sharp's so good? Because he's one of the lads. He's a working class lad who does good and you know, betters himself. The fact that they do that and they exploit you and you take all the risks while they make all the money doesn't negate honourable, noble service. If you run across open ground whilst under heavy fire to administer life-saving first aid to a wounded comrade whilst in action in Afghanistan, there is nothing that makes your service or your own individual heroism cheapened by the actions of the degenerate fucking rabble of vermins that runs the United Kingdom. Vermins. Vermin is both plural and singular, isn't it? I'm just laughing because I was reading a quiz in an old Viz magazine, and it was, how American are you? And one of the questions was, it was something like, you're having problems with your spouse and you suspect you may have been unfaithful. How should you solve it? And they're always funny, the Viz quizzes. There's always like two normal answers, and then the bottom one is the ridiculous one. And the first one was like, say nothing, it'll probably work itself out in the end. Then it was like, B, discuss it with a professional counsellor to see if you can help with your marital problems. Then it was like, C, go on to a ludicrous TV chat show hosted by a bespectacled Jewish man and then talk through your problems. Talk through your problems in front of a rabble of vermins, then assault her with a chair leg. So yeah, vermins. I think the plural is vermin, but still, I like the word. So yeah, it doesn't cheapen your service. Anybody who's sitting at home feeling a little bit down, I understand where you're coming from. I don't often talk about the military, which is something else which a lot of my detractors on Twitter and Facebook seem to not understand at all. There's the amount of people on Twitter who go, fucking, yeah, look at this loser. Like, all he's got is his delusions of grandeur from the old days. Like, you know, he just wants to be back. And it's like, I very, very rarely talk about the military. The fact that I'm a bootneck is just the name that I picked for my channel, because I am one and it colours my worldview. But it's not a military-themed channel, is it? I don't do this. There's loads of good military-themed channels. There's a few bootnecks who do them, good ones like outdoorsmen, woodsmen, survivalists. There's guys who have guns channels, do a lot of shooting. Bootneck doesn't do any of that. My channel is comedy, political commentary, basically. It's comic ranting because I like ranting and I'm funny. So I do comedy, political ranting. That's what I've always done. I've done that since I was fucking 5 years old. I'm a gobshite and I think I'm funny. So that's the way I've always been. My military has got nothing. My military career doesn't really make the channel what it is. So I very rarely talk about it, but I think I have mentioned in the past that when I left the Corps, I was very disillusioned because typically, I'm sure everybody in the chat will tell you the same. Anybody who's been in, typically you either do just about the minimum, so 4, 5, 6 years, or you do 22. It's very, very rare for blokes like me to have done nearly 10 and then leave, because once you get past 7 or 8 years, you obviously genuinely like the job and you've taken to it. So it is a rarity. I mean, I'll ask the chat, anybody who served, you either do 20 fucking odd or you do 6 or less. I'd say 90% of people who serve do that, right? Anybody in the chat, Trev did 24. So yeah, it's rare you get blokes who say like, oh, I did 9 years, did 10 years. Rajed. Yeah, the word I use, rajed. Rajed means very angry, yeah. What are you doing? You remember the class video of the smackhead when he's walking through? In fact, you know what? I'm going to look for that because let's segue to that because it'll make you laugh. There's a class video of a bloke in Middlesbrough and he's a smackhead or something and he's got odd shoes on. And the bloke who pulls him over goes, what are you doing wearing odd shoes, you raj cunt? So rant can mean very angry or just fucking mental. Let me see if I can find that video. Odd shoes, Middlesbrough diabetes, maybe I can find it. Yeah, here we are. I found it. So you know what's funny about this? I'm sure I've showed this before. What I don't understand about this one is the bloke Hal's laughing at him because he says, "Why have you got odd shoes on?" He says, "Because I've got diabetes." So when you first watch it, it is funny, but in hindsight, it makes sense. Now, obviously, I know you know a little bit. You do quite a lot of medical training when you're in the military and you're going to go on an active deployment. The reason it makes sense for him to have odd shoes on because he's got diabetes is because it causes your appendages, your extremities to swell. The reason people with diabetes lose limbs or go blind is because your blood's thick. There's like so much sugar in your blood. It thickens and it can't get to all the smallest capillaries in your body. That's why it can make you lose limbs or go blind. Here it is. I found it. Here, look at this. I'm fucking crying laughing at this. Like,
stop. Mate, come here. How come you've got, right? Just look at this. How come you've got a fucking knife there and a fucking Timberland boot on?
I've got diabetes.
You've got diabetes? What's that got to do with what fucking shows your ranch guns?
Because I have...
Stop.
There you are. You've got fucking diabetes. What's that got to do with one show, you ranch cunt? So yeah, ranch cunt. Good that, innit? I have seen that as well. That is funny as. Shall we watch that as well? Let's have a look. Middlesbrough. What was it? Middlesbrough English or something? Yeah, here it is. Shall we watch this? Is a fucking... I've watched this with you like years ago. I remember doing it because it is so fucking... it's so like... not offensive. I hate people who say they get offended by everything. It's not offensive. It's patronising. It's fucking patronising to get some posh southern wanker walking around Middlesbrough like we can't. Like we don't know how to speak properly. But this is brilliant. Look at this. Class that, innit? No, it's the money. Fucking quality. That little kid as well. It's important to talk so people don't think you're crazy. Do you think someone's crazy just because they have a strong northern accent? That's weird. Brilliant. All right, you guys can't see that one. Hang on, it must have opened in a pop-up. Come on, you fucker. There we go.
Parents have been...
There we go. Hang on, let me try and zoom in a bit so you can hear it. Yeah, so this is ridiculous. This patronising southern twat.
Minded that words like letter, butter, and tomorrow don't have an A at the end. But some in Middlesbrough won't have it tomorrow. 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 It's tomorrow, not tomorrow.
If you want to get interviewed by a job like that involves writing, they're going to think you're not qualified with the way you speak. When you leave school, it's important to talk so people don't think you're crazy.
But
there you go. When you leave school, it's important to talk so people don't think you're crazy. Crazy? Do you think I'm crazy? Just because I talk funny compared to you, posh posh BBC wanker? Here we are, butter. No, it's butter. Butter.
Butter. Butter. Butter. Listen, butter. Butter. That's it. Say again. Butter.
I like the way he says that as well. He goes, that's it. Like, that's his fucking eureka moment. That's it. You've got it. See, despite being primitive and lacking basic motor functions, these chimpanzees in Middlesbrough can be taught civilization. What a wanker. What a wanker.
Very good. Thank you very much indeed. Standard English on the streets of Teesside. Together, we can do this. David Green.
Did you see him as well? He does the standard Middlesbrough leaving the scene, yeah? Doesn't take his eyes off him. That's why he's fucking moonwalking. Says, yeah, because 9 out of 10 people who stop you in the streets of Middlesbrough want to fucking slip a knife between your kidneys and fuck off with your wallet. Because someone in the chat's like, oh, why did he walk away backwards? It's like, yeah, because he doesn't trust the cunt in the tie, that's right. He doesn't trust him. He thinks he's going to get knifed. That's why he moonwalks away and then does a little spin at the end there, look.
Teesside. Together, we can do this. Damon Green, ITV News in Middlesbrough.
keep them where you can see them, mate. Keep them where you can see them, those sneaky bastards. Yeah, but funny that, innit? How man. Embrace your language and accent. Well, see, for some reason, I think it massively, massively affects every aspect of your media personality, the way you speak. I don't think it's a coincidence that all of the big YouTubers have a nice lilting twang. Like, if you talk posh Scottish, you can get away with it. Like Critical Drinker, he talks posh Scottish, him. He's not a fucking weegie, is he? Have you listened to a drunk in Glasgow? Doesn't sound like him. Neil Oliver's the same as well. Neil Oliver, Critical Drinker. You can get away with posh Scottish, or you have to do posh English. It's no coincidence that people like Douglas Murray. Who else is big? Sargon. Sargon's got posh accent. Even Simon Sideways has got quite a posh accent to me. He's very well spoken. For some reason, I think if you have quite a strong accent, it just doesn't go over as well. It can't be a coincidence, can it? Can you think of any really big media or YouTube personalities who've got a broad accent? They're all posh. Even Chris Williamson, do you know, he's a fucking Geordie, isn't he? He talks posh for a Geordie. He's got a very, very... It's almost like he's trying his best to talk in a posh accent. Paz is a good one. I think Paz has got quite posh Welsh. He's got a nice sounding voice. Maybe people just don't like a strong accent because it makes your voice sound harsh and grating or something. But to me, all the people that have got a big media presence on YouTube or on the telly, they have quite a posh accent. To me, maybe it's just because people from Middlesbrough are just absolute scum. But yeah, history debunked as well. He's got a posh accent. Sargon, posh. Most of them have got a nice, soft, basically a harsh accent. I'm guessing that people outside of the region find it difficult to follow on. So maybe that's why. Right? Because you need to be able to communicate effectively with as many people as possible. But I don't think it's a coincidence. All the big YouTubers I watch have got a posh accent. Sargon has got a proper posh accent. It's like Douglas Murray. You have to be able to be easy to listen to all around the world, don't you, for a big channel pull? And like listening to me, I'm sure many Americans, when I'm off on one, they're like, I can't really understand every sentence. So you have to like concentrate and listen hard. Whereas if you have a posh accent like Douglas Murray or Sargon, it just rolls off. Can you define posh? Posh is like, well, you say it about a lot of things in English. We're very lazy speakers, aren't we? Posh to the average English person means rich. So if someone's posh, they're rich. They talk with an educated accent. They go to a good university. But I mean, you can use it for anything, can't you? Say you've got a posh car. Oh, hey, that's posh. You've got some nice shoes or a good handbag. Ooh, that's posh. Posh is just basically wealthy. But to me, I think it is. I do think it makes. A big difference. Kate, I don't think you're very impartial, Kate, but I do appreciate it anyway. You're about as impartial as me mum, Kate. So yeah, but thanks anyway. Joe Rogan's not posh either. He isn't. But he's well spoken for an American, isn't he? He's not like, have you been to fucking Alabama? I've been to Alabama. You should hear all the talk out there. again, he's well-spoken for an American, isn't he? There's well-spoken Americans. Joe Rogan's well-spoken. He's not like like the blokes in the fucking the hillbillies in the Appalachians. Doesn't sound like that, does he? Got a very easy. Does that? To be honest, I reckon I've got quite a posh accent for Borough. I mean, it's impossible to be posh from Middlesbrough. You know, like most towns have got a rough area and a posh area. Borough's just a rough area. I don't think there is a posh area of Middlesbrough. The only posh area of Middlesbrough is basically out in the North Yorkshire Moors, isn't it? So as you get into Nunthorpe and Gisborough and Stokesley and Great Ayton, that's posh. But Middlesbrough, actual Middlesbrough, it's a fucking shithole. There is no posh area. It's like Groveville, Park End, Saltersgill. They're all fucking dumps. Hemlington, Easterside. There's nowhere. I don't think there's anywhere posh in Middlesbrough. But I don't suppose I've got the worst accent for a Borough lad. Like, I mean, I'm easier to understand than that fella who was laughing at the diabetes man, aren't I? Posh, when you were a child, was a friend whose family had a car. Yeah, well, yeah, it's obviously changed a bit over the years. Anyway, I haven't really got that much to talk about today. I'm trying to avoid just doing the news. I'm just doing the ramble because it's the car birthday, and the main reason I came on was because I wanted to talk about the car and, like I said, for once, talk about the military for a little bit and just say anybody who feels disillusioned.
Mate,
Come here. Well, anyone who feels disillusioned about the service shouldn't. Basically, it's a pep talk. I know a lot of former bootnecks and former service personnel. They struggle a little bit, you know what I mean? They're not in a good place. It can be difficult. Certainly, I think I had some adjustment issues when I left the car because you go from having purpose, a driving important purpose, a job that is important. And I know some guys have adjustment issues after they leave. But I just wanted to take this opportunity on the car's birthday to tell everybody that no matter what, you're a blunt tool to the politicians, the scum that run the United Kingdom. The globalist, self-serving shitbags that run the United Kingdom have scorn for the military, contempt for the individual soldiers, and no interest in utilising them in the way that they were intended. But to every man and woman who serves their country, let me just reassure you that your noble deeds, your honour and commitment to selflessness and sacrifice and stoicism and everything else that begins with S and sounds fucking good is appreciated and well earned. Why does it say Gibraltar above the insignia? Because the car's got so many battle honours slip that they can't just have one. So they use the little cherries on the laurel because they've got like 99 battle honours or something, and that's to signify all of them. But Gibraltar was the big boy because that was when we took it off those dirty, thieving Spaniards. So obviously it was the defence of Gibraltar where we, 100 Marines killed about 20,000 Spaniards. So that's a good one. That's why it's Gibraltar. And yeah, there you go. So happy birthday to the Corps and happy birthday to every bootneck that served and will continue to serve and sacrifice for their fucking lesser men that direct them to go to war when there's no need to, not in defence of the realm. Yeah, we're being sorely misled, but it doesn't negate your service. And everybody who served should be proud. So cheers to you and cheers to the Royal Marines. Cheers. Right, thanks for watching, everyone. I'm going to call it a day. This weekend, in celebration of the Corps and mine and Captain Cook's birthdays, I'm going San Luis Obispo, posh neighbourhood in the heart of wine country. Got a nice hotel. I'm going there tonight. Saturday, I'm going to Pismo Beach, where Bugs Bunny was always trying to get to. Got a nice hotel down there. I'll wander around both of those places and drink enough booze to kill 10 paratroopers. All right, or 20 rock apes from the RAF regiment. But yes, respect to all of them, everyone who served. And not forgetting Whiskey Straight Out, coppers as well. The ones who served nobly and honourably and did their duty, regardless of the lamentations of the scum that lead them. Hats off to all of them. No man who serves and does his best and serves honourably and nobly should ever feel dejected because the vermin that run the United Kingdom and all of the West countries this day and age use them crudely and incorrectly. It doesn't take away from the individual service of the heroic actions of the people that wear the uniform. So fuck them all, right? Have a great weekend, everybody. Happy birthday, Royal Marines. See you all on Monday for another stream, and we'll do the news again. All right? Huzzah! Cheers. Have a great weekend. Keep your chins up, because fuck them. That's why. And I'll see you all soon. All right? Take it easy. Cheers.